morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. And we begin with Disneyland in California throwing open its gates for the first time since March, but not for the reasons anyone hoped. Instead of rides, the resort will be rolling out vaccines. It is one of dozens of new super sites across the country, each tasked with giving shots to thousands and thousands of people a day. There's also COVID news from another California park. At least 2, but as many as 8 gorillas at the San Diego Zoo have tested positive for the virus. They are the only known cases in great apes, and the zoo assumes they got it from an asymptomatic staffer. The gorillas started coughing and showing other mild symptoms last week, which is what prompted the tests in the first place. 2 other pandemic footnotes. All international airline passengers bound for the U.S. will soon have to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test before boarding. According to the Wall Street Journal, the CDC is working on the new order, and it could go into effect as early as January 26th. And Dr. Anthony Fauci just crystal balled the reopening of live events. He said yesterday that if vaccine rollout picks up steam as expected, we should all be back in stadiums, on stage, and in seats by mid to late fall. 1 week from today, President-elect Joe Biden will take the oath of office and assume the presidency. His inaugural theme, America United. But Mr. Biden isn't the only one being celebrated. His dog Major will be the first rescue dog to ever live in the White House, and as such will be recognized with his own Indoguration. Billed as the largest virtual party for dogs, it's being organized by the Delaware Humane Association shelter, where the Biden family adopted the German Shepherd in 2018. The party kicks off on Sunday. A $10 donation is required to join the Zoom event, with all proceeds going to the shelter. Major will have some four-legged company at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The Bidens also have another pooch named Champ. In Washington, D.C. today, what could be a vote for the history books. At 9 a.m. Eastern, the House will begin debate on charging President Trump for encouraging his supporters to storm the Capitol. The maneuvering comes after Vice President Pence rejected a demand to invoke the 25th Amendment, which would have labeled his boss unfit. Removing the president 8 days before the end of the term was not, he said, in the best interest of the nation. Now lawmakers move to Plan B and could vote as early as tonight to make Mr. Trump the first president in history to be impeached twice. Yesterday, the president stood by the comments he made before last week's protest, said he is not to blame for the violence, and that attempts to get him to leave the White House early are only causing more anger. Is Prince Harry sporting a ponytail? According to one holiday A-lister, maybe. Actor Rob Lowe told late-night host James Corden that he pulled up next to the reluctant royal at a stoplight in Southern California recently and swears he saw the Duke of Sussex with long hair pulled back tight. Mr. Lowe even followed the driver in question back to the new home purchased by Harry and Meghan in Montecito to see if he pulled in. He did. The actor and the prince apparently haven't met, but are neighbors living just a mile apart. James Corden, who was born in England, threw cold water all over Lowe's account, but the actor insists he saw what he saw, and that sighting is apparently rare. Mr. Lowe said the prince is reclusive and that spotting him in the neighborhood is like seeing the Loch Ness Monster. In other Kid News notes, it's a Musk mix-up. Last week, Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk tweeted, "Use Signal." Investors, who hang on his every word, assumed he was referring to biotech company Signal Advance, started buying it like crazy, and according to MarketWatch, pushed the stock's value up 5,675%. Trouble was, the outspoken entrepreneur meant the Signal social media messenger, which is completely different and isn't even publicly traded. No matter, thanks to Musk, the app is way up in followers, and the biotech company is still trading 400% higher than it did pre-tweet. Another day, another record for Taylor Swift. Her summertime drop Folklore is now the best-selling album of the year, making it her 5th chart topper in the U.S. That's enough to steal the title of most #1 selling albums from Adele, who had 4. And it seems Swift wasn't exaggerating when she says she just couldn't stop writing songs, because the deluxe version she dropped this week has 2 bonus tracks packed with new lyrics for Swifties to decode. That's it for Kid News this morning. Now, our Kid News quiz. What shuttered resort is about to become a vaccine super site? Disneyland in Anaheim, California. According to Dr. Fauci, when might live events be safe again? Mid to late fall if the vaccine rollout picks up steam. When is the inauguration of President-elect Biden? One week from today. Actor Rob Lowe just compared seeing his neighbor Prince Harry to what? Seeing the Loch Ness Monster. In One for the Road, anyone who's seen the classic holiday movie A Christmas Story knows not to do it. But some kids just can't help themselves. In China, a 15-year-old boy recently licked a steel pole in 3-degree weather to see what would happen. It should come as no surprise that what you'd think would happen did. He had his phone on him and called for help, but because his tongue was now one with the pole, he couldn't speak properly and the person on the other end hung up. The teen wasn't freed from his embarrassing predicament until a nearby shop owner saw the dilemma, grabbed a cup of warm water, and ran it over his tongue. The whole mess was caught on a security camera, and as expected, social media is enjoying the view. Before we head out for the day, we want to shout out the classrooms of our Kid News teachers. Grayson McCann at North Wilkes Middle School in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Ms. Jurek at Garthwood Park in Mississauga, Ontario. Black Chandler at Westview Middle School in Greenwood, South Carolina. And Mrs. Gonzalez at Collins Parr in San Diego, Texas. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News tomorrow morning.